Hey, it's Erin. Today we're going to do a deep dive on one of my favorite exercises, the good morning. If you're looking to develop the Glute-Ham tie-in, this exercise is for you. I use quotations because the Glute-Ham tie-in is something that competitors came up with. It's not an anatomical feature. This is simply where the glutes meet the hamstrings. And when you get on stage, if a competitor has a nice separation between the glutes and the hamstrings, typically that will stand out on stage. Also keep in mind that you really need to have this area well developed in order to see it. Most importantly, you have to be stage lean in order to really see it. So for me, it takes up until about 2 weeks before a show before mine really pops. As women, we typically will hold more weight, more body fat in our lower body. So you can really work on that Glute-Ham tie-in, but keep in mind that if you want to reveal it, typically it takes getting lean and getting super lean to have that really pop. So you don't want that really popping year round, but we can use this exercise to sculpt the area, if you will, to give yourself more muscle there, to give yourself more shape. So even if your body fat is at a healthy percentage, you will see more shape there. You may not necessarily see the separation, but again, we're looking for health and longevity. We can't be stage lean year round. That being said, let's dive into the exercise, how to do it. Now, typically you're going to use a barbell when you do the good morning. But if you're training at home, you can absolutely use a dumbbell. You're just going to place it in the same spot that you would place the barbell and make sure that you're really holding on to it and not letting it roll up your neck. If you want a demonstration on the dumbbell good morning, let me know. I'm happy to do it. I would suggest starting with a very light weight here because we're using the hips as a hinge. And typically what I'll do is I'll place a 10 or maybe 2 10s on either side. Make sure that that bar is sitting across your traps. I like to put it across the lower traps because it feels a bit more comfortable. So once you have that bar on your traps, you want to make sure that your elbows are nice and under the bar, that you're locked in nice and tight, that that bar stays put. Now the stance is going to be about shoulder width. So you want your feet about shoulder width apart. A slight bend in the knee. You don't want to lock your knees out, but you also don't want a large bend. You just want to have a soft knee here. And you want to think about lowering your upper body by using your hips as a hinge. So you're thinking about actively pushing your hips back, keeping your back flat, and making sure that you're not looking in the mirror, making sure that you're keeping a neutral spine. So I want you to think about looking straight ahead as you lower yourself, as you use your hips as a hinge. You want to think about taking your gaze downward and pause momentarily at that mid-rep point. You can get your back to just above parallel to the floor. Nice pause, and then I want you to really engage those glutes and the hamstrings and think about pushing your upper body back to standing using just your glutes and your hamstrings. I really like pushing my weight through the heels. This is super important. Typically, to engage that posterior chain, you want to have the weight pushed through the heels. You're going to keep that overhand grip on the bar with your thumbs wrapped around the bar, and you're going to keep that bar locked onto your traps with your elbows right under that bar. Now, typically what I'll do is higher reps for this exercise. It is an isolation exercise. It's tricky. You can definitely go up in weight, but as far as reps, you're looking at between 10 to 20 reps. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to see another exercise demonstration, another deep dive, again, this was the good morning. Excellent exercise for the mythical Glute-Ham tie-in. If you like this exercise, you try it, you try the little tips and tricks and cues. You really think about keeping your weight through the heels, hinging at the hips, keeping that back nice and flat, and really using just your hamstrings and your glutes. So you go nice and slow, you go light, you're able to really strengthen that mind-muscle connection, which means your form is going to be great, and you're going to be recruiting the muscles that you're intending to use, not going so heavy that your upper body starts to take over, your back starts to round, and form starts to degrade. So form over everything. As soon as you get that proper form and you've got that good mind-muscle connection, start loading the weight on 5 to 10% per week. That's it. That's all you need for progression or progressive overload. That's it for this time. Please consider liking and subscribing to the Fit Fam. We'd love to have you. Until next time, train hard, y'all.